George Herman Ruth, the Babe, one of the most celebrated baseball players and athletes of all time, a Hall of Fame pitcher for the Boston Red Sox, and a Hall of Fame outfielder for the New York Yankees. He is still talked about and celebrated today.
You never heard of the Sultan of SWAT? The Titan of Terror.
Colossus of Clout. The Colossus of Clout. The King of Crash.
The Colossus of Clout? The Colossus of Clout.
The Sultan of SWAT. The Great Bambino.
The King of Crash, man.
Babe Ruth!
His name is even in one of the last places you'd expect to see it.
I looked up Ruth, and he was listed. Babe Ruth is in that dictionary. He's on page 632. And what's so fascinating is that you won't find any other baseball players in that dictionary. You won't find any football players in that dictionary. You won't find any hockey players in there. But you'll find Babe Ruth.
For as great of a hitter as the Babe was, many forget he was also a fantastic pitcher.
The same guy, who could hit 60 home runs was also a Hall of Fame pitcher, who in 1917 started 38 games and finished 35. It's just amazing how he put up earned run averages of 1.75 and 2.01. He was just he would have made the Hall of Fame as a pitcher. He was just outstanding.
This man, the Great Bambino, who never played for the Detroit Tigers and regularly dominated them, it might be added, is so celebrated that a Detroit baseball fan turned a Detroit sports bar from this to this in honor of a player who never even played for his favorite team. But just what is the connection between the Babe and Detroit?
There's a real connection between Ruth and the city of Detroit, and he had a great time every time he came here. He was an outdoorsman. He liked to fish and hunt, and he actually did some fishing here in the Detroit area. He once was ticketed for fishing out of season out in around Howell, Michigan. He went to Mount Clemens to those mineral baths. He had a friend that he would visit who lived down in Monroe. So he had friends who lived in the city, and where he would drink beer in basements, and he made his rounds, and Harry Heilman was one of his good friends, Tiger Hall of Fame slugger here in Detroit.
How would you not like to be with a guy that, he hunted, he fished, he did, he played with the kids, and just, all kinds of stuff.
And those are just the off-the-field connections.
Babe Ruth hit more home runs against the Detroit Tigers than any other club in history. So he had some of his greatest games right down the street from where we're at right now, and hit the longest home run in Major League history at Navin Field.
Yeah, like I said, so many of his longest homers were hit here in Detroit. We marked off some of his longest ones, and many people in Detroit are aware of one that he hit down Plum Street in 1926. And some people think that the ball traveled down Plum Street and ended up rolling for 2 blocks before a little kid on a bicycle caught up with it. So it probably traveled over 800 feet before it finally stopped. No one knows exactly how far it went on the fly. Some think as far as 626 feet, but that's, nobody knows for sure.
The Babe left his mark on Detroit, and I think Detroit left its mark on the Babe. And, 119 years after he was born, his memory lives on. And what the Babe did here at the corner of Michigan and Trumbull is unparalleled.
Regardless of these connections, one has to wonder, what inspired the party?
The party started, I used to go to a bar on Grand River Avenue in Rosedale Park. It's called Bar Tom's, owned by a lady named Ethel Thompson. And she had a jukebox with a happy birthday song on it. And she hated the song, so I'd play it all the time just to annoy her. So I started bringing in baseball players' photographs. I'd play the birthday song, and she'd say, whose birthday is it? And I'd put the photograph out on the bar. So they got a kick out of that at the bar. We had a lot of fun with it. So in November of '87, I was looking forward to birthdays that were coming up. And when I got to February 6th, I thought, oh, Babe Ruth. And I realized I couldn't just bring a picture to the bar. It called for a celebration. It made sense. He loved life, and he loved to drink beer and have hot dogs. It sounded like a perfect theme for a party. So I sent out a bunch of invites to my friends, and We met there on Grand River Avenue, 26 years ago, and there were 12 of us that showed up, and it was a magical evening. We had a great time listening to old tunes on the jukebox and smoking cigars and toasting to the Babe, and so it was so much fun. I decided to do it again a year later.
Detroiters know how to do it. We know who to recognize, who the real historic baseball players are.
But why keep doing it for someone who wasn't even on the Tigers?
It's just a labor of love. I had so much fun at that first party. You know, even though there were just 12 of us there, it was just perfect. It was a magical evening. I had such a great time. I just wanted to do it again next year. Just kept it going.
You know, you don't really, think of Babe Ruth when you think of Detroit. But for whatever reason they put this on, it's a party. Why not party in February?
And the Babe, a famous partier, would fit right in.
Yeah, we think the Babe would be right at home here at Nemo's. We're celebrating the way that we think that he would have liked to party. And Nemo's is really, it is the house that Ruth built. And we're here to remember the Babe and celebrate and drink beer and have hot dogs and have a good time, just like he would have enjoyed.
Well, he was one of the greatest to ever play the game. And why not celebrate greatness? Just whether it's LeBron in basketball, Michael Jordan in basketball, or Peyton Manning tomorrow in the Super Bowl, why not celebrate greatness?
People understood his greatness, and there was no shortage of admiration for Ruth.
I mean, it's just amazing. Just amazing what was said and about Babe Ruth, the things that Babe Ruth said. The one that I love, and I think everybody loves, one of the best, is that one right there. God, we like that big son of a bitch. He was a constant source of joy, and it's like he was just a constant source of joy. I mean, people loved him. He lived life to the fullest, and how could he's just a great athlete and a joy to be around.
And of course, as is tradition with any proper birthday celebration, no party would be complete without the cake.
1, 2, 3, 4. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear me. Happy birthday to you.
After the cake, the party wasn't over. Participants walked down the street to the old ball field and had a great time running the bases.
Get funky.
So the next time you're down at Nemo's Bar on Michigan Avenue, ask about Tom Derry, and you'll hear all about his world-famous Babe Ruth birthday party.
2, 3 strikes, you're out at the